All right, today we're going to conduct a kind of forensic investigation. We're pulling back the curtain on a system that, well, it pretty much operates in the shadows of the digital world. It's a really sophisticated machine, and it's designed to take your excitement for something like a free trial and turn it into a long-term, unauthorized drain on your bank account. This is the story of how your own inaction, your inertia, is turned into their profit. Let's dig in.
You know, this quote just perfectly captures the paradox we're about to take apart. In the world of online shopping, that one single, seemingly harmless click, it can become the most expensive signature you ever give. And why? Precisely because you never even knew you were signing anything in the first place. This isn't about you making a simple mistake, it's about a calculated system of exploitation that absolutely preys on our trust and, let's be honest, our inattention.
So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to expose the legal weapon they use for cover. Then, we'll dissect the anatomy of the scam itself, piece by piece. After that, we'll explore the psychological engine that makes these traps so darn effective. Then, we'll try to navigate the cancellation labyrinth they build to keep you paying. And finally, and this is the most important part, we are going to arm you with a protocol for your own digital self-defense. Okay, let's start at the very foundation of this entire system, the small print weapon. It all rests on a legal concept that seems kind of harmless on the surface, but when it gets twisted, it becomes an incredibly powerful tool. We're not just talking about tricky wording here. This is about weaponizing fine print and exploiting our natural tendency to just, skip the details. The legal tool that makes this whole thing possible is called negative option billing. And this is a really crucial concept to understand. Now, it's not inherently illegal. Legitimate subscription services use it all the time for things like your streaming service or software. But in the hands of scammers, it is a weapon. This framework lets them interpret your failure to cancel a trial as your consent to be charged. Your silence literally becomes their yes. Your inaction becomes their main source of revenue. All right, so now that we get the legal cover, let's actually look at the machine itself. We're now getting into the core of the investigation, the anatomy of the scam. We're going to deconstruct this extraction machine phase by phase and show you exactly how it targets you, traps you, and then starts draining your account without your explicit, conscious agreement. As you can see, this whole process is super systematic. It unfolds in 6 distinct phases. It all starts with targeting and bait, luring you in with an ad for an offer that just seems too good to be true. Then comes obfuscation, where they use these sophisticated visual tricks to hide the real terms of the deal right there in plain sight. Next is the grace period trap, a timeline that's deliberately engineered to charge you before you can even react. After that, the automatic trigger hits your card with that first, often shockingly high charge. Then the monthly extraction begins, siphoning money month after month. And finally, they use concealment tactics to hide the charges on your bank statement so they're hard to find and dispute.
And this brings us to the single most critical instant in this entire process. It's that one innocent-looking click. The moment you press Get My Free Trial, and you're feeling excited about the deal you just got. You think you're just authorizing, a $1 charge for shipping? But in the legal reality that's been constructed by that fine print, you've just authorized a legally binding, long-term financial contract.
So how in the world do they get away with it? Well, it's through these deliberate visual obfuscation tactics. They'll pre-check a consent box for you because they're banking on the fact that you won't uncheck it. They use low contrast text, think light gray on a white background, making the renewal terms almost invisible to the eye. They'll bury the full cost in these little drop-down menus labeled details that, let's face it, you'd never think to open. Every single element is meticulously designed to create an agreement that's legally defensible, but ethically, it's completely bankrupt.
And this just illustrates the timeline trap so brilliantly. So, you order your free trial on day 1. 2 days later, it finally ships. But just 4 days after that, on day 7, your trial ends and your card gets slammed with a massive charge, often somewhere between $80 and $130. The crazy part? The physical product doesn't even show up until day 9. The system is set up on purpose so you're charged before you can even see what you bought, making it impossible to cancel in time. And right there, that's where the manipulation flips from a tempting offer into a financial trap. Okay, so we've seen the mechanics of the scam, but the really big question is, why does it work on so many of us? We're now moving into the psychological engine that actually powers this system. This isn't just about a deceptive website, it's about exploiting the predictable and very human flaws in how we make decisions. The first psychological lever they pull is called status quo bias. Basically, our brains are wired to resist change.
We prefer to keep things as they are. So once you're enrolled, even if it was by accident, the effort of canceling just feels huge. You start thinking, I have to find a phone number, wait on hold, probably argue with someone, and compared to all that hassle, a small monthly charge seems kind of trivial. You rationalize it, right? It's only $10. I'll deal with it next month. That procrastination is exactly what they're counting on. It's the lifeblood of their business model. The second lever is something called decision fatigue. Think about any online checkout process. You're entering your name, your address, your shipping preference, your credit card number, expiration date, security code. With every single decision, your mental energy just goes down. By the time you get to that final big, brightly colored confirm order button, your brain is tired. It starts to filter out what it thinks is non-essential, like that dense block of gray text at the bottom of the page. Scammers totally weaponize this. They use the smooth, seamless checkout process to wear down your skepticism. And this slide just lays out the trap perfectly. The sign-up process is this frictionless slide into a great deal. This plays on something called present bias, where our brain overvalues the immediate reward, the free thing, and massively undervalues a future risk like a charge that's coming in 7 days. But once you're in, the whole system flips. The easy path is no longer clicking a button. The easy path is to do nothing, to just let it ride. And that inertia is exactly how they keep you paying.
So this brings us to the other side of the coin. If getting in is completely frictionless, getting out is a masterpiece of friction. The difficulty you run into when you try to cancel, that's not a bug. It's not bad customer service. It is a deliberately engineered fortress that is designed to make you give up.
These are the weapons inside that cancellation labyrinth. They intentionally get rid of any online cancellation button, forcing you to call a number that's only open during your busiest work hours. If they have a chatbot, it's always busy. And when you finally do call, you're put on hold for 40 minutes listening to horrible music. This is the psychological choke point. Each one of these obstacles isn't a flaw, it's a feature. It's a calculated layer of friction designed to just exhaust your willpower until you finally surrender and say, forget it, I'll try again next month. Now let's look at one of the most insidious tactics they use to hide. It's called merchant masking. You signed up for a trial with, let's say, Free Trial Co., but when you're looking at your bank statement, the charge shows up under a generic, official-sounding name like Health Plus Wellness. You don't recognize it, but maybe you let it slide. Then 3 months later, the name changes again to Optima Vitality. This constant changing of names is designed to stop you from easily identifying and disputing the charge. It leads to what we can call identification fatigue.
Okay, we've deconstructed the trap. Now it's time to build the defense. The tone is going to shift now from investigation to empowerment. You do not have to be a victim of this system. By adopting a really clear, actionable protocol, a pre-checkout audit, you can beat this scam before it ever gets its claws in you.
I want you to think of this as your mandatory security check before any online trial. It's got 4 steps. First, red flag detection, learning to spot the warning signs. Second, using a virtual card guardrail to protect your real money. Third, conducting a terms of service audit. There are tools like ToSDR, which stands for Terms of Service, didn't read, that can help you quickly see if a company's terms are predatory. Then fourth, applying the manual confirmation rule before you ever click that final button. This is the #1 red flag. Let me just state this as clearly as I possibly can. If a service that says it's free requires your credit card details up front, it is not a free trial. It is a subscription system by design. That free part is just the bait to get your payment information on file for the recurring charge they know is coming. And this slide shows your single most powerful defensive tool, the virtual card guardrail. A lot of major banks and privacy services now offer these for free. So before you sign up for any trial, go to your provider, create a new virtual card, and set its spending limit to exactly $1. This acts like an impenetrable financial shield. When the company tries to hit your card with that unexpected $89 renewal charge, the transaction will just be declined. The scam is stopped dead in its tracks.
Here is a super simple, practical test you should do before you ever give a company your information. Just go to their website and try to find the account cancellation page. The rule is simple. If you can't find a clear cancel account button within 3 clicks of the homepage, you should consider that vendor extremely high risk. An honest company makes the exit just as easy as the entry.
So, to kind of put it all together, this system we've unpacked today actually has a name. It's an inertia-based extraction system. It combines the legal cover of negative option billing with the sneaky tactics of visual obfuscation to get around your normal financial scrutiny. And it's successful because it exploits your brain's hardwired tendencies toward decision fatigue and status quo bias. I want to leave you with a simple, powerful mantra.
I want you to internalize this. Make it a permanent rule for how you behave online. Before any trial, just say this to yourself. I audit the exit before I enter the trial. If the terms are hidden, the charge is a trap. That simple shift in your mindset, from a trusting consumer to a cautious auditor, is your greatest protection.
And finally, just a thought to take with you. This inertia extraction model isn't just limited to these shady free trials. Now that you can see the blueprint, the easy way in, the difficult way out, the exploitation of our own psychology, start looking for it everywhere. Where else in your digital life is your own inertia being used against you? The principles we've covered today are a powerful lens for seeing the hidden forces that shape our decisions online. Stay vigilant.